Are you funny? Are you off the wall? Are you silly? Do you like to tell stories? Like, what are your strengths? Because you need to lean into that when it comes to the content and pour that, like, your authentic self into it. It has to be that way.
And I think that that's really the critical piece of content creation is does the audience, does the person watching it feel like, oh, wait a minute, he's talking to me? Does your wife, is she like, oh my gosh, my husband is TikTok famous?
We've literally driven through like Dunkin' Donuts drive-through, and I pull up to pay for our coffee, and we get to the window, and the cashier's like, the person in front of you told me to tell that mortgage guy to have a great day, and they paid for my coffee. And I'm like what? Like, this is crazy.
Can I be honest with y'all for a second? If you're a landlord and you're still collecting rent through Venmo, or Lord help you, waiting on a paper check, I need to introduce you to my partner in peace, TurboTenant. TurboTenant lets you collect rent online with auto pay, automatic late fees, reminders, receipts, the whole 9 yards. It's professional, it's secure, and your tenants pay on time because the system does the nagging so you don't have to. And oh my stars, let me tell you about filling vacancies, because that's the other thing that'll drive you crazy. With TurboTenant, you create one listing and it gets posted to dozens of the top rental sites. Apartments.com, Redfin, you name it. Unlimited listings for free. You're not just sticking a sign in the yard and hoping for the best anymore. If you own a rental and you want fewer headaches and more cash flow, go check out TurboTenant's link in my description. I swear you'll wonder how you ever did it without them. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Glennda Baker. I'm a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia, and today I am joined by the one and only That Mortgage Guy, Scott Bentley. Scott, I am so excited to have you here. We met, oh my stars and stripes, maybe I feel like it's been 4 or 5 years ago. We were both relatively new on TikTok, and we were at a meeting in Dallas. And I'd not met you before. Had been following you. And I mean, how's it been going for the last few years?
It's been going great. The brand has led me in so many directions. Business is good. Things are good. How about you?
Well, things are great, but I got to tell you, I remember when we were there, um, you were the quiet observer. You were in a room with a bunch of very talkative real estate agents. If my memory serves me correctly, you might have been seated just to the left of the most talkative one in the room. And I really learned a lot about you because you had a form and like it just said, click here to work with me, correct?
Yeah, it was really basic. You guys had all these funnels and link trees, and I'm like, yeah, I got this little link. You guys are like, what? Yeah, yeah.
I think it was a Google link, actually, wasn't it?
It was. Well, it was a landing page that
A
just had
landing
like
page. That's
yeah, a
right.
simple form fill. Yeah, yeah.
A simple form thing. And so here we all are talking about this strategy and this funnel and this link tree, and this is what you got to do. And somebody turned around and said, so, how many leads are you getting? And you're like, a zillion. And I was like, what? And you were like, and how are you getting all those leads? How many funnels and how many pay per clicks? And you were like, yeah, there's a link in my bio that says work with me. And it's like, holy cow, I couldn't believe it. But you really started the mortgage education, in my opinion, on social media. You really were one of the very first people who talked very direct and very succinct to consumers, giving mortgage advice. So how did you get started and where's it taken you? I remember you had gotten a big offer when we were there and you had said, Glennda, somebody offered me whatever. And, I'm just not exactly sure what to do. So I want to catch up. I want to, how's it going?
It's going really well. Yeah. Over the last like 3, 4 years, the brand has kind of taken me more toward leadership roles and building companies and divisions and teams. And Now I'm building my own team separately and kind of taking the blueprint and giving it to other loan officers on how to leverage social media, both with live streaming and curating content to get business. Right now, the lower hanging fruit is live streaming, and the guys that I'm coaching, within 30 to 60 days, they're getting leads every single day from TikTok Live. It's crazy. So it's going really well. No complaints.
I love that. Now, how many TikTok lives do you do a week?
I personally, I was doing about one a day for an hour a day. Over the course of the last month, I had to dial back because I had over like 1,000 leads over the last 30 days, and my head was spinning, and I had to bring in more teammates, and I'm bringing in more loan officers right now to kind of help with the lead flow. But it gets overwhelming. So I actually had to pull back over the last 3 weeks. I haven't gone live a single time because the lead flow has been so much that I can't handle it all. So
Wow. And you go live for like an hour?
yeah, I'll go live for an hour. And the last time I went live, I had over 1,000 concurrent viewers in there. Giuliano Massarelli jumped in there. We had like some really big names that were jumping in live. And for whatever reason, TikTok right now is really pushing live. Like you look overseas and what's going on with like platforms outside of the US, they're very much focused on live. And I think that's going to be the next wave of content in the world of AI and, scripted fake content, like being able to have someone real and tangible in front of you that you can touch and ask questions, is strong. And I think that's where it's going.
Is your live content on TikTok to consumers? Is it to other loan officers? Is it to real estate agents? What is it?
Yeah, it's specifically for consumers. So when I go on there, we're doing like budget talks, we're doing home buying Q&As, all sorts of stuff. One of the hottest things that I do is focusing on like debt to income ratios and what your budget would be on a home, where people come in and they comment their household income, their current debt load, their credit score, and then I unpack their budget and like what that would look like for them. And that's a really hot one. And it translates to leads too, because people don't understand like what it takes, what's going to put you in a position where you're house poor or, a comfortable level, and kind of unpacking that for them is super helpful.
That's awesome. And so, it's funny because there is a guy here in Atlanta, and he's an attorney,
Mhm.
and he takes a little sign that says "Ask the Attorney,"
I
and
saw that.
he puts it on the belt line, and he stands there in his shorts and his t-shirt because he's walking on the belt line, and he stands there, and you just come up and you ask any question that you want. And you know what? I think you make such an amazing point is that unless you are live, people think that it's AI generated content.
It's true. Or some scripted version of yourself that isn't you, and they want the real, raw, authentic self, so that's definitely where I think it's going.
What are you most excited about in social media? But I mean, besides TikTok Live, how has your business? Let's first start with how has your business grown? Like you said
Oh,
that you were in more in leadership because when I met you, you were that mortgage guy. You were just the mortgage guy,
yeah.
and you were pretty crazy at that point, just doing mortgages, right?
Yeah, it really transformed my life and my business and my financial status for my family. I was in the mortgage industry. I got in when I was like 22, and it wasn't until 2019 when socials really blew up. And for the better part of, almost 10 years in the beginning portion of my career, I really struggled, like as a young 20-year-old going out to real estate agencies, trying to build relationships and pound pavement with literature and donuts. Like it was really difficult. And then TikTok came along, and in 2019, my business went from 7 to 10 million a year in purchase volume to 50 to 75 million a year in volume to upwards of over 100 million a year, with just the business that I refer out as well. So it really changed the course of where I was. And yeah, it's the biggest impact.
And were you always like good at social media?
I was, I wouldn't say I was always good. I had another business that I ran where I was really exposed to like how to build a brand locally here in Maryland. It was a magazine that I built, and I learned like firsthand running that business, starting that business. That was the first business I ever ran on my own and like created from scratch. And that 2-year period like really helped me understand what it took to build a brand and like providing value and education. And so that was like what dovetailed into that mortgage guy. When that business fell apart in 2018, I turned around and created that mortgage guy, got back into mortgages full time because I was kind of doing that part time and mortgages on the side while I was building that business. And that was how it all started. It was all because of Gary Vee too. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk was ranting about the organic reach on TikTok on his podcast in 2019. I jumped on in like December of 2019 and had like my 20th video that went viral, and it was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So that was how it all started.
I love it. And so do you do a lot of trending videos, or you just stick to value and education?
In the beginning, I hung my hat on like hyper short form content, kind of like what you saw 3, 4, 5 years ago was a lot of the trends, trending sounds, like skits. Over the course of the last 2 to 3 years, I almost had to reinvent myself within the brand to do more talking head content, green screen videos, green screen reaction videos, talking skits as opposed to like doing a skit to a sound. And so it's just like it speaks to the evolution of socials and how it's continuing to change, with just the evolution of styles of content and effects and all the things. But yeah, I had to reinvent myself because I was like so focused on short form for so long. And then like, oh my God, I need to pivot here because this is not working as well as it used to.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. My engagement on TikTok has changed significantly because TikTok has really become a marketplace. I mean, I can't tell you how many tubes of lipstick that I have bought because somebody was doing a video on lipstick. So, and it really has become like this social media, this Amazon social media thing. So, I
Yeah.
really have kind of struggled myself to get the engagement that I once had because it has changed so much.
It has, yeah, and it feels like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube are pushing the videos more than what we used to see. And
Right.
like the videos that I'm creating on TikTok that get 30,000 to 100,000 views now are getting like millions of views on the other platforms. And the organic reach just wasn't what it used to be. So anyone who's watching, you guys got to get on it. Like this organic reach is only going to be here for so long. You've got to get in and take advantage of it ASAP.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, you're building out your team. You're working on your social media. Do you have like a staff that helps you? Do you record all the stuff? Do you edit all the stuff? Like what is your back end look like, I guess?
Yeah, in terms of content, it's all me. I also run like a coaching community around content, a live coaching ecosystem with a bunch of other creators that are practitioners in the trenches. Because as well as I do, it's not a one size fits all. There's like so many different ways to go about it, and there's not a right or wrong way, but understanding these different strategies and how different people do it is important. But yeah, it's all me. I do all of it. I more so have a team on the back end that's helping me manage the transactions and like referrals that are going out and the transactional flow. But on the content side and the branding side, it's all me.
And you love it that much, or you're that much of a control freak?
I'm that much of a control freak. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And what would I mean? What would you say to other lenders or real estate agents that, what is the secret sauce of social media?
Yeah. There are so many parts to it. I think at the end of the day, being your authentic self is an important piece, but providing education and value and entertainment all packaged together is really the recipe. That's kind of what I've tried to focus on. But then also showcasing like who you are and your authentic self. You do an incredible job with this with storytelling. And I think you told me your grandfather or somebody in your family used to tell you stories when you were younger, and that shines through in your content as like a passion and something that you focus on. And so that's part of like the discussion that I go through with my teammates is like, are you funny? Are you off the wall? Are you silly? Do you like to tell stories? Like, what are your strengths? Because you need to lean into that when it comes to the content and pour that, like your authentic self into it. It has to be that way.
Yeah, I love watching your stuff because when you talk, especially when you talk about education and mortgage information, it's number one, it's not boring. But number two, I actually really feel like I could take what you're saying and I can apply it to myself. Oh, I can do that. Like, oh, I'll learn. Okay, that's what he's saying to do. Okay, can see that. I can see how I could do that. And I think that that's really the critical piece of content creation is, does the audience, does the person watching it feel like, oh, wait a minute, he's talking to me?
Yeah, 100%. Well, and just dumbing it down in layman's terms, like I feel like this is all something we should be taught in school and we're not. And the reality is like our niche, the American dream, what we serve, like everybody wants to achieve the American dream at some point. So that's like what I've tried to focus on is the fact that like everybody wants this at some point and they need to understand the different aspects of it. And I just try to dumb it down in a way that they can understand it.
And have you ever gotten backlash? Do you have haters?
I've had people that get a little nasty with some of the posts that I put out where I'm like more opinionated in one way or another, but not necessarily haters, just like, keyboard warriors in the comments, I would say. I'm sure you see that too.
So, yeah, I heard something yesterday or maybe the day before that those are called thumb thugs.
Mm, I haven't heard that one. I like that one.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Atlanta, so we've always got our own little vernacular here where we call people stuff. And somebody said that because I was talking about some backlash I had a couple of years ago from some real estate agents, and then just recently I had posted a video about active under contract, and it was really interesting. The powers that be were not happy with me at all, so I thought that was really interesting. And it's so people always say to me, like, does Zillow hate you? Like, do they call you and tell you how much they hate you? Do they send you like hate mail? And I'm like, actually, they don't. But I will say this, I did Google my name, and typically, and everything comes up, and typically Zillow comes up close to the top. And I did notice that Zillow didn't come up. So I wonder if they've throttled the search on Glennda, if they've hidden it.
Oh
So,
my gosh, they
you know,
blacklisted you.
I'm going to have to go back and check into that just a little bit more. So what's next for you? Where are you going? What are you doing? What is the next era? What are you
Yeah, I mean, my goal right now, I really am focused on building a big team. I want to do 1 billion a year in loan volume with my team, and that's like my overall goal. And building a team of 100 to 200 loan officers nationwide, and being able to go out and leverage the leads that I get, and a lot of the other big creators and influencers that I'm bringing onto my team right now that have hundreds of thousands of followers and have the same pain points, with leads that come in all across the country and states that they can or cannot service. So that's what I'm focused on, building that nationwide team. With the platform I'm under now, we service 49 states, and I want to be able to go out and really take over socials. That's my goal, not only with content, but with live streaming and giving my entire team the blueprint. And what's crazy is I have dozens of examples of folks that have followed that blueprint, and within 30 to 60 days, they are generating leads. One guy who was on my team about 3 months ago, who left the prior brokerage I was at before I came to where I am now, he's closing 8 loans this month from TikTok Live, and he was not on TikTok 4 or 5 months ago. He wasn't even in the mortgage industry 6 months ago. So that's like the power of it. If you follow it and you're consistent, it's just a matter of time. It really is.
That is awesome. So let me ask you a question. Like I go live on Instagram, but I talk a lot,
Yeah.
but I couldn't imagine going live for an hour.
It's hard. It's almost like a muscle that you've got to work. Like in the beginning, it's very difficult to stay live for a whole hour. You've got to like develop this scripting and like cadence around, this loop of information that you circulate through, because you've got like fresh people getting pumped into that live like every 2 to 3 minutes. But yeah, it's wild. It works so well. Even if you have like under 1,000 followers, like these guys that are on my team that are getting leads, they have 1,000 to 2,000 followers and they're getting 5 to 10 leads a day in an hour live. So
Oh
it's
my gosh, I love that. And so you think that that's a magic shot, like going live for an hour on TikTok. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, man, damn, I need to be doing that.
Well, the only thing is with your structure, I think it's difficult because you don't have like I mean, you could refer the business out on the real estate side, but you can only make maybe like 25%. So you're making 1% of the sale. Like on our side with our platform, I can refer that business out and make 2% on the loan side of the loan amount, even just referring it out. So it's a
Oh, wow.
little more monetization, but I just set up a JV company on the real estate side to also refer that business out because like 90% of the business we get they don't have realtors. So we're able to kind of get both sides of that.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, remind me, I want to say you live in Maryland or Baltimore or the DMV. Am I right or am I just imagining that?
Yeah, we're on the eastern shore of Maryland, like 45 minutes from the coast of the United States.
Okay, so I didn't make that up in my head.
No, you didn't. No, we're out here. Yeah.
And you've always been there.
Yeah, we bounced around. We lived on the other side of Maryland and now we're like on the eastern shore of the coast. So we
Yeah.
have like a homestead out here. We homeschool the kids and we have the chickens and the animals and all the things. So
Oh, that's so cool. How many kids do you have?
we have three boys, 2, 5, and 8.
And what does your wife think about this? Does your wife, is she like, oh my gosh, then my husband is TikTok famous?
It's wild. Yeah, there's been so many instances where we're like stopped in public and like people will come up to us and like, are you that mortgage guy? And we've literally driven through like Dunkin' Donuts drive-through and I pull up to pay for our coffee and we get to the window and the cashier's like, the person in front of you told me to tell that mortgage guy to have a great day and they paid for my coffee. And I'm like what? Like this is crazy. It's wild. That's the power of socials. You never know. And I'm the most awkward person when people come up to me. I'm like, I'm just an introvert. So like, I don't know, just weird. But
Gee, and I will attest to that because I literally I was thinking to myself, well, this guy, he's not really like talking very much. Like who like what why is why isn't he talking more? And I was thinking to myself, you were such an observer. And it was so interesting to watch. But for me, I love watching your videos just because when I'm watching them, I feel like that you're talking to me. I feel you're not, I don't want to say that you dumb it down, but you make the information in these bite-sized pieces that are very easy to take. And I love that. I think that's one of the great things about your content.
ChatGPT has been helping me so much with the scripting. I'll tell you that. And
I
it's
love
not And it's not like I go like directly off a chat script, but like it helps get the wheels turning, like giving me 20 different hook ideas. And it might be like a mixture of 1 and 7 with my own spin on it. But it gives me the framework and kind of gets the wheels turning and then gives you other angles and things that you might not be thinking of. So
I love that. I love that. Well, let's do some rapid fire. So, what's the most overrated mortgage advice you hear?
the most overrated mortgage advice that I hear. Um, I would probably say down payment assistance programs that is talked about so widely on the internet. And they're really not that great of options when it comes to first time home buyers. Like there's such financial disadvantages to them. And I'm like torn because like I use that to buy my first home like 14 years ago. And it like has a warm place in my heart because it helped make that happen for us. But at the end of the day, it has some real financial downsides as well.
I have a client right now and I'm selling their property. And they did a first time buyer or a home buyer assistance program. And if she doesn't stay in the house for X number of years, she owes $25,000.
Yeah. Yeah. And it depends on the program you go with. Like some of them have a repayable second, some of them are forgiven after a certain period of time. You have to be careful because there's all sorts of different DPAs out there.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so the biggest mistake first time buyers make.
The biggest mistake first time buyers make, I would say, is thinking that they need perfect credit and a significant down payment to buy a house. That's just not the case. There are really flexible options out there. I've got clients that are buying homes with no credit scores to, 580 scores, with 3% down. That's a common misconception that I see.
I was one of those people that had bad credit. I had filed bankruptcy. I had my electricity cut off. I had terrible credit. And I was so ashamed of having bad credit and I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want anybody to find out and had I reached out to a trusted lender and said,
Hmm.
hey, look at my stuff and tell me what I need to do to buy a house. I probably could have bought a house long before I bought a house if I had just not had so much shame. If I had had the nerve to go to somebody and say, how can you help me?
Yeah, I was in the same boat. No, that's why I'm passionate about it. When I was 18, 19 years old, I almost died at the Jersey Shore. I had like a serious cardiac event. There was like ambulances and cardiac teams that had to come revive me. And I had Blue Cross Blue Shield at the time, and they hit me with over $100,000 in medical collections because I was out of state in New Jersey, and there were like an ambulance fee and special cardiac team fees and all these things. And I was like 18, 19 years old on my mom's Blue Cross Blue Shield. I'm like, I don't have $100,000. So that sat on my credit for the better part of 10 years. And I didn't think I was going to be able to buy a home in my early 20s. And I was able to with FHA financing with a 587 credit score at the time. And, that since that's all fallen off, it is in the past. But yeah, that's what people think. You need a 700 score. And that's just not the case.
Yeah. And now medical collections aren't even on your credit report anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, which is a nice benefit. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, absolutely. So renting or buying in today's market?
That's so tough. Renting is clearly cheaper, but in the long run, I think obviously homeownership is the answer. You look at the fact that the average net worth of homeowners are what is it, like 50 times or 100 times of a renter. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, I don't think renting forever and owning nothing is the answer, but I do understand that the affordability crisis is a real hurdle for most, So I try to shine a light on that consistently, but there are strategies and things that you can tap into, like house hacking and getting creative to get your foot in the door and start establishing equity for yourself to get to that next point, or that using that as a stepping stone. But it's tough out there for a lot of people.
It is. What's your biggest house hack?
Biggest house hack I would say is probably a multi-unit purchase. House hacking, everybody's familiar with that. You can use an FHA loan to buy up to a 4-unit property as your primary residence, live in one of them, and then rent out the other units to cover the mortgage, or almost live mortgage free. I have a client that's doing that right now, that's actually building a 2-unit property in Baltimore. I think it's in Baltimore County, Maryland, with his VA loan. I don't know if you've heard of the VA one-time close before, but I hadn't heard of it prior to the company I'm at. But these one-time close programs, they allow you to finance the lot and the construction cost all under one loan. And with VA, it's no money down. FHA is 3.5% down, but it's just an incredible program. And you can do it on a multi-unit property as well.
One financial habit every future homeowner should develop.
One financial habit, I would say, auditing your mortgage at the end of the year and taking a look at your escrow account and insurance and making sure that you're not getting raked over the coals. And also watching, if you own a primary residence, file that homestead property tax credit. But if you own a home, you need to watch this closely, because these insurance companies are getting crazy, and they will try to switch up your premium overnight without you even realizing. And then all of a sudden your payment's $200, $300, $700 more a month. So I would watch that. We ran into that 2.5 years ago, where our insurance provider, we had a storm that ripped off almost like a third of our roof. And we had filed the first claim in 14 years of being homeowners. And we got a letter the next month that stated our insurance premium was going from like $3,600 to almost $8,000 for the following year. And I was like, this is insane. Just because we used our insurance that we've never used in our our lives,
You paid for.
that you pay for that reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to watch these companies. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I recently moved my primary into a trust and notified my homeowners insurance. And they sent me an email and they said, we need you to sign this document. And the document says that the roof is new. And I said, but the roof is not new. The roof was 6 years old when I bought it. So now it's 10 years old. And they're like, if you don't replace the roof, we're going to cancel your insurance.
What?
It's a 10-year-old. There's nothing wrong with it. I've never had a claim. I've never, ever had a claim with this insurance company. I haven't had a claim since 2004. So what, 22 years? I haven't had a homeowner's insurance claim. I've only had one. I haven't had one in 22 years. And the insurance company wants me to replace the 10-year-old roof, or else they're going to cancel me.
And there's nothing wrong with the roof. That's
Nothing.
insane.
No. And I'm not changing my policy. I literally put my home into a trust for my children.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so every time I think about insurance, it makes my head spin around. It's not fly to my nose. Okay.
Yep.
The mortgage trend you're paying the closest attention to.
I would say just because marketing is my jam, live streaming on social media, that's like where my attention and focus is right now. The strategy behind it, like different angles and things that people are doing. That's my jam, like marketing and social. So that's my focus right now.
And what is a belief that you hold about homeownership that most people disagree with?
Mm, I mean, I guess it depends on who you talk to, but my number one belief with it is that it's one of the best forced savings, that you can have in this world. You look at the fact that, Wall Street is coming after one of the only remaining wealth pools left in the middle class, like through these equity companies where they're going out and giving people loans for a percentage of their appreciation in their property, where they don't even have to pay on that loan that they're giving them, and they're coming after people's equity. But I think it's just such a great form of forced savings. Like for me, I bought my first home 14 years ago. And now we're millionaires, through the properties that we bought and the equity that we built. And I never thought that I would get to this point in my life, but it's such a great form of forced savings. I genuinely believe that.
It is. And, people say to me all the time, Glenda, stocks are a much better investment than your home. And my response to that is always the same. I can't live in a stock. I can't put a percentage down and have the same asset.
Yep.
Last time I checked, Blockbuster is not worth the paper that it's written on.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, every time that people want to come at me with that stock thing, I'm like, I know houses, and I know for a fact in a worst case scenario, one of my rental properties is not rented. It's still there. It's appreciating. Somebody else is paying down the mortgage. And if I needed to sell it today, I could sell it.
Right. Yep. No, that's what people come to me all the time with cryptos and this. And I just could never get behind it. It's too volatile. It's scary to me, to be honest.
Who are you following on social media? Who is your inspiration? Who do you think is doing a great job on social media?
Well, you for sure. You're one of them. I'm trying to think, like, I really love Zachary Faust. He does a really good job. He's kind of gone more so off of like his personal passions, and he's like focused more on top of funnel, like conspiracy type stuff. Braden Shaw in our space does a really great job. One thing that's like really interesting with a lot of the folks that are at the higher level is they don't really post as much lead generation type content. It's more so top of funnel, like virality, focusing on headlines, affordability crisis, like general valuable information. And that's something I've been watching because like I try to mix my cadence up and do a lot of top of funnel, but then sprinkle in the bottom of funnel as well. And that's like where I get my leads. But there's something to say about that top of funnel content. It brings in so much attention and that is just so important. So those are some of the guys I follow.
I gotta tell you, I hear what you're saying, but you have made a truckload of money making mortgage information educational and interesting and applicable to people's everyday life. and you have created a formula that is pretty damn good. I don't know that I would mess with it too much, because the top of funnel stuff, the virality, I talk to agents all the time. It's not about vanity and virality, it's about value and visibility.
It's true. Well, and so many people just get focused on that and the clicks and the views, and they forget about like why we're actually here. You got to sprinkle in the middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content where you're generating leads. Like there's no way around it. So
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. Somebody sent me a video the other day, and it was a great video, and it had like 5 million views that a real estate agent had posted. I think it had maybe 50,000 likes and tons of comments. And, somebody sent it to me and said, "What do you think about this video?" I said, "I think it's a great video. I think it's a great viral video." And obviously it went viral.
hmm
But my question is, that house didn't sell.
yeah, what did it actually do for your business? Right.
And, it's not like that person, I don't know if they got clients off of it. They didn't get a ton of followers, and they didn't
Mhm.
sell the house. So what was the purpose of the video? And so I always tell agents, what is your purpose for posting? And why are you posting it? And who do you want it to reach? And that's really what
Mhm.
you focus on. Now, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you one more question, because I meant to ask this earlier. If you
Yeah.
do a live video on TikTok, does it record, like, can you save it? Like on Instagram, if I do a live video, I can download it. Can you do that on TikTok too?
Yeah, you can do that on TikTok. And then what's really cool about TikTok in the analytics section after the live, you can go back and see every single person that joined the live, every comment that came through. So like after the live, you can deploy a VA or yourself into the analytics and start scrubbing that list and soliciting all those folks like, hey, thanks for jumping in my live. If you're looking for more help, would love to connect, here's my calendar or whatever it is. But those are like ripe leads for the picking. And I get like almost half of the leads I get from live are from that follow up and going back into the system and soliciting those folks that were in there asking questions about a specific program or their budget or whatever it is. And that's a lead right there.
Oh, so if I joined your live, it would say at Glennda Baker joined your live, and it would say, I it would show the question that I asked about, what's the best first time home buyer program. And then you actually can DM me and say, "Hey, Glennda, if you want more information about first time home buyer products, I'd love to chat with you."
Exactly. And after the live, you get all those analytics where all the comments are there. You know what every person was asking, referencing. So you've got that in real time to like send them a message right then.
That is so awesome. When I was thinking about chatting with you, I was like, which direction do I want to go? Do I want to talk about mortgages, or do I want to talk about social media? I think that your expertise with mortgages is self evident. And I think that what you have done with social media is probably one of the best normal, just regular person who gives great advice about something that they're passionate about, and has just really helped people realize their dream of homeownership. So I'm excited that I had the opportunity to chat with you today.
Likewise. Thank you, Glenda. And same for you. You have done an incredible job. You really have.
I'm trying. So where can my folks find you?
Yeah, anywhere on socials, if you search that mortgage guy, you'll find me. There's a lot of like spam accounts out there that
Oh,
have it. Some of these pages have like 200,000 followers, Glenda. I'm like, and I keep reporting them. I'm like, what is going on? But I have, hopefully you find the real That Mortgage Guy page, but there's a lot of them out there. We'll see.
well, we will definitely hook it into, or link it in our comments. So, and I appreciate you being here. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Glennda Baker. I'm a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. And today I had the opportunity to speak with Scott Bentley, that mortgage guy. And I will tell you, if you want to do anything on social media, follow him. He is a great example for our industry and for social media. So, Scott, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Glenda. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.